So Beth mentioned I'll be speaking on 1099 workers, and I'm going to refer to them as independent contractors for purposes of my presentation today. And what I'll first do is just kind of set the scene and do a brief overview of new hire reporting generally and the state directory of new hires. I do want to mention that Michael Pochia will be providing more information, more detailed information about the new hire reporting and employer responsibilities a bit later in the program. And then I'm going to talk about New York's new requirement to report independent contractors to the new hire directory. And finally, I'll just mention some implementation considerations, and I'll note that Alex also spoke about a few of those. So new hire reporting laws, why are they there? As you've heard, the new hire reporting helps the program to quickly locate fathers and non-custodial parents in order to establish paternity where necessary and appropriate, and also child support orders. But also, new hire reporting is a key to the income withholding process, streamlining that collection of support from parents who become employed or who change jobs. Just putting that in context for a moment, we talked earlier about the annual $1.8 billion collected by the state, New York State program statewide. 70 to 75% of those collections are generally collected through income withholding, and I think that really helps with the context, and Fran had noted that earlier. Okay, so under federal law, all states must maintain a state directory of new hires, and all employers have certain mandatory reporting obligations. Employers must report newly hired or rehired employees. That reporting must happen on a W-4 or an equivalent form. And under federal law, states may prescribe the time, but not later than 20 days, or reporting electronically or magnetically 2 times a month. So that is the time frame by which employers must submit new hires to the new hire directory. And as noted below on the slide, you'll see those references to both federal and state law. And that's the New York State tax law. So how to report? So employers who are required to report to New York State must do so using one of the following methods. It can be reported online via the New York New Hire Online Reporting Center, which is nynewhire.com, or by using the employer form IT-2104, the Employees Withholding Allowance Certificate, or the federal form W-4, Employees Withholding Certificate, and that can happen by fax, as you can see the fax number there, or by mail to the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, and that's that New Hire Notification Center. So after the employer files that new hire report, states have obligations too. They must enter that information into the state directory within 5 business days, and then transmit that information to the national directory of new hires within 3 days from entry into that state directory of new hires. The child support program has obligations too. They have to use that matched information for location, as I noted earlier, of the parent obligated to pay support, and then is mandated to send a wage withholding notice, or as we say in New York, an income withholding order to employers within 2 days of that new hire hit. On October 25th of this year, Governor Hochul signed legislation, which is New York State Chapter Law 504, expanding the reporting requirements to include certain independent contractors into the state directory of new hires. And the legislation noted that the purpose was to aid in the administration of the child support program. that is collecting child support and streamlining location of parents. The new law amends the relevant provision of the New York State tax law to require that employers report individuals under an independent contractor arrangement with contracts in excess of $2,500. The effective date of the new law is January 1, 2022, so it's coming right around the corner. You are the first group of employers that we've had the opportunity to speak to about the new law. We wanted you to know that we're working with our colleagues at the Department of Taxation and Finance to ensure that this change is clearly communicated to employers and to update the information on both the New York new hire reporting website housed within New York State Department of Taxation and Finance and the child support website, which is childsupport.ny.gov, to reflect this change. With this new law, employers must now report in the independent contractor's name, address, social security number, state services were first performed by the independent contractor, and the employer's name, address, and federal employer identification number. And that is similar to the requirements for employees, newly hired or rehired employees. So next, implementation consideration. Slide here. A few notes on implementation. It will be important, and Alice referred to this as well, to revisit your onboarding procedures and your reporting schedules to ensure compliance with this reporting requirement. It'll be important to communicate and coordinate the new hire requirements between your accounts payable and your payroll staff or units, or between different staff or divisions responsible for employee administration versus the independent contractor administration. And I'll note that employers will receive income withholding orders or wage garnishments for independent contractors and must comply as with employees. So having mechanisms in place to ensure that those income withholding orders are timely processed. And as Alice noted, sometimes it's easier said than done. There are a number of considerations that will go into implementing and ensuring that those obligations and compliance takes place. So I think Alice provides some good feedback for us too in how we can, again, working with our colleagues at the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, provide as the best information possible to you. And I do look forward to speaking with Alice and others in the employer community so that we can work and collaborate on implementation of the new law. I also wanted to mention something that appeared in the sponsors memorandum. So you may want to consider reporting all independent contractors. As noted in the legislative memorandum accompanying the bill, businesses, although not required, are encouraged to report all independent contractors regardless of contract amount. I can just get down to that last slide here. Finally, I've provided some online resources for you. There is the New York New Hire Online Reporting Center I mentioned earlier, nynewhire.com. There are some frequently asked questions available on the New York State Tax and Finance website. And also there's a new hire in fact sheet on the child support website, which is childsupport.ny.gov. We hope that we'll hear from you with any questions that you may have. And again, I look forward to working with the employer community as we move forward to implement the new law. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Eileen. I believe now we're going to open it up to some questions.